Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
What's going on? You missed lots of good stuff before the show. If you want to talk about obscure toys,
we were looking at toys on
come to the pre-show.
International websites.
Yes.
Exactly. But lots of good stuff going on out there. All right, today we're going to... I don't even know if we realized it when we recorded last week, but we're going to talk about Strange New Worlds. It came out Thursday. As you listen to this, if you listen on Friday, 3 episodes will be out. We're going to talk about the first 2. I'm sure there will be spoilers, but...
As well as for an original series episode, which, if you haven't seen it, you had your shot. So.
Yes. Season 1 original series episode from 1966, people.
That's it.
Exactly. If you haven't seen it, you catch up. You got time to catch up.
Yeah. When I told Maria that we were talking about the new season of Star Trek, she's like, "Then why did I see you watching an old episode?" I'm like, "There's a reason.
There's a reason."
Yeah. So yeah, and some other stuff. We got other stuff. There's no shortage of stuff. Let's go some random. Todd, what do you got?
Okay, so I'm going to pick up on one of Dave's kind of a rant from last week.
Tim Burton's an asshole.
So this is the same exact story, okay, as reported from 2 different websites. One, James Gunn addresses casting Alan Richardson as DC's new Batman. Okay, that's one. And then another is James Gunn talks about Batman casting rumors and Alan Richardson's chances in DCU. Which one of those seems to be more accurate? Okay, so Screen Rant says addresses casting in the past tense Alan Richardson as DC's new Batman, whereas Geek Tyrant, which I get a lot of stuff off of, talks about Batman casting rumors. One conversation on a podcast, he said, "I'm a big fan of his work, and I like him personally." That's what he said.
And he said, "Yeah, we're not there yet."
Exactly. And it's like...
Well, that's what he's been saying about Adriana. All the rumors about Adriana playing Wonder Woman. He's like, "I like her. She'd be great," is what he's saying.
Exactly. You
These
know
are
what?
fan things. They're not ready for this stuff.
Right,
Fans want what they want.
But it's like, it's completely disingenuous to say casting Alan Richardson as DC's new Batman.
Well,
likewise,
no, not in the past tense. If you James Gunn discuss casting Alan Richardson, I understand fans like it. I'm not there yet. I like him as a person. That's my discussion of casting him. I haven't done it yet.
Okay, so here's another one for you. Okay, 2 different websites. Okay, Star Trek star dies at 97. Okay? One of the first things I saw this morning. Okay? Another site says, actor Tom Troop, who appeared in Star Trek, dies at 97.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, this guy was in a whole lot of shows. He played a character in Star Trek who did not have a name. Okay?
It's not quite starring.
Okay?
No.
That is not star. That is actor.
That's not even guest star.
Not to belittle what this man did, because he's been in a lot of stuff, had a very long career. God bless him, he had a very long life. But when you say Star Trek star 97 dies, okay?
They're looking for you to think, "Oh my God, William Shatner's dead."
I 2/3 of the people that opened that article thought William Shatner had died. Okay.
So last night, we're watching HGTV. We get in bed, we're just watching HGTV, and House Hunters is on. And I turn to my wife and I go, "I know that girl. One of the women I used to work with, her and her boyfriend were on House Hunters wanting to buy a house." Now, I wouldn't turn around and say Jamie is a star of HGTV just because she happened to be in one episode of House Hunters.
and that's just it. And you see this.
House Hunters is a scam too, by the way.
All the time.
They find someone who's bought a house and then they backtrack and make you look at 2 other houses.
But I didn't realize that this girl who I interviewed years ago and hired was on House Hunters, and I was shocked. But yeah, my point in bringing that up was you can't say, "Oh, she's one of the stars of HGTV." No, she was in
Yes.
one episode.
No,
of House
no,
Hunters.
and that's just it. She's not, and they use this. You'll see star and dies anytime that they don't say the person's name. Okay, but if they say the person's name, they'll say actor, and it's just yeah, God. Anyways,
I want to backtrack on
it's a cesspool.
two things you said, because I had one of these topics in my
Yep.
random. But one is, that's not even what I have a problem with. The thing I mentioned was
the made up stuff.
the link.
I know
the made up, and I've seen more made up. But the Lincoln lawyer, the Jack Ryan. But update on that Lincoln lawyer thing. After that article I read, I've seen a dozen other articles. It seems like that is an absolute that thing is coming to Netflix. I have no idea if it is or isn't, but there's been multiple articles about Bosch and Lincoln Lawyer getting together in a new Netflix series. I think everyone's just making shit up off of made up articles. So who the hell knows? But I did have Alan Ritchson as Batman. He's not been cast. Fans want him. I'm curious what you think, Todd. And I'm going to discuss this with the idea that we won't ever meet him again, so he won't punch me in the face. I don't think he's nearly a good enough actor to be Batman or Bruce Wayne.
I think he could be a good Batman. I don't think he'd make a good Bruce Wayne.
I just don't think he's got the acting ability.
I think he's too big to be a younger Batman, and he's got the size to be the older,
also
grizzled
42.
Batman.
He's 42, and I think at this point, I don't know if we want to go into an older Batman again. But,
I mean, Reacher is fine, but there's not a lot of range there.
Though, I will say, when he played Hank Hall in Titans, it was a very similar character. Okay?
Yeah, it's a little...
So, we don't necessarily know what his range is because I don't think we've had a chance to see him in something where he plays something different. I tend to think you look at this guy and then you cast him as the type of person that he's been. So...
Yeah.
He may have a much more sophisticated side. I don't know. He would not be my choice. I don't know who.
He's not my choice. It's funny, and this isn't one of my rants, but I'm in a Forbidden Planet Facebook group that has a ton of members. Oddly enough, no one says much, and they're running this poll on. There's rumors of a remake of Forbidden Planet. They're running now. I'll make this quick, but they gave you like 5 choices of who would you like to see Morbius. I guess the overwhelming choice was Liam Neeson. Well, I don't think would be that bad as a Morbius.
No.
Except I think he's about to destroy his career with this stupid
Police Squad
Naked
movie,
Gun.
Yeah.
Hopefully. He has enough movies. But the next one was Altera. Who's going to play Altera? And my answer to their choices was none of these people are young enough. She's got to be 23
exactly.
at the oldest.
Yep.
The overwhelming choice is Sydney Sweeney.
Of course, because they want to put her in everything.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to put her in everything.
I like Sydney Sweeney. I don't think she is either young. She's 27. She's not young enough.
She plays young because she plays a high school kid on that Euphoria show, and she can pull it off because she looks young. But
that's not who we need.
She can't.
She
didn't pull it off. She didn't pull it off in the terrible Marvel movie, and
she's too distracting.
No, and
then the Captain Adams. Like the choices are everyone who we've seen too much of. Pedro Pascal, Glenn Powell. Like I would think people with a Forbidden Planet Facebook page would be a little more sophisticated than just picking everyone who's in everything.
Okay.
Well, I hate to say it, I would think they would be older fans who wouldn't be picking these young hot people.
Well, what is funny is one of the comments was with the girl. I've never heard of any of these people. So obviously they're like in their 80s.
So, yeah, exactly. I will say, I think we should, either in a future episode or a couple weeks, whatever, let's cast a current DC, meaning the Superman reality, Batman. Let's figure who we want to be Batman, who we want to be Commissioner Gordon, who would be Alfred, the basic cast of characters. and I would be really interested to see who we come up with.
Okay.
And because I've started doing that.
Probably should be an unknown though. That's the only thing.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say a complete unknown, but I think that was not my bid for Timothy Chalamet. Anyways, but I would say complete. It's somebody who's got to have done something, but not be associated with a franchise role. Okay,
Dakota Johnson as Catwoman and
what's that?
Timothy.
I said Dakota Johnson as Catwoman and Sydney Sweeney as Batgirl. There you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd like to see Timothy Chalamet as Robin. Anyway, all right, Barry, what do you got?
Nightwing.
I'm going to go.
He could be Nightwing. He could do that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Chalamet doesn't have the body and the. He's pulled off a lot of. I don't want to say wimpy characters, but characters that didn't have to be physical in any way.
Meanwhile, look who he's with. I'm sure he's physical.
I will say, Dune
he's
was
very
reasonably
slight
physical. Dune was reasonably physical. You don't jump on the top of a sandworm and hook it without
or a Kardashian.
Or Kardashian.
She's harder to hook and ride than
without.
I think she's the richest one too.
You just got to dig your hooks in and hold on tight. I'm still talking about sandworm. You can talk about what you want, but
Kardashian. Wait a minute, we're talking about Deep Space Nine here. What's going on?
Yeah, that's it.
Technically a Jenner, but they're all the same.
Yes. It's by extension.
All right, I'll get us back on track here.
Thank you.
Top 10 highest grossing Hollywood films of 2025 so far. I'm going to run down the list. Sinners at number 10.
I know what number 9 is. Okay.
366 million. Thunderbolts number 9, 382 million. Superman number 8, 407 million. Considering it just came out a week or so ago, that's not bad.
Yep.
Captain America 4, whatever that one was ultimately called, is 415 million at number 7. F1, I think it's been out 2 or 3 weeks, 461 million. How to Train Your Dragon at number 5, 581 million. Mission Impossible 8, number 4, 589 million. Jurassic
This is
World
worldwide box
worldwide.
office.
Yeah,
this is worldwide box office. Jurassic World, the new one, whatever it's called, at number 3, 648 million. The Minecraft movie is number 2, 955 million. And number 1, Lilo and Stitch with $1.007 billion. So the two kids' movies are number 1 and 2. How to Train Your Dragon is number 5, and the rest of it is, action movies and superhero movies.
I read an article, Barry, a couple weeks ago that said other countries are seeing exactly the same phenomenon that we are, that post-COVID, people do not go to the theater unless their kids want to go.
Yeah.
That it is
Well,
still
Sinners
theater
being
attendance
number
is
10
still
is
down.
the only one on this list that I don't think people would take kids to see Sinners, but everything else you could take kids to see.
But that was also a long.
Sinners
That was a
creepy,
slow
right?
burn. That just kept getting momentum,
Yeah.
and
it
just
hit
kept going.
HBO Max, I think, or one of the streaming services. Maybe it's Hulu. I don't know. It's on one of them now. So
It's HBO.
yeah,
But the kids' movies have legs everywhere, and they're seeing the same thing. They're seeing it in China. They're seeing it in Japan. They're seeing it all over Europe. That people are taking their kids to the cinema, and they're not going themselves, and they're not going in. That they're waiting to watch it on TV, and that model may be broken forever. So
could be. Well, that's why they're making $40 popcorn buckets now to try to get adults back in the theater.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
Thank God I don't have it go. No, although Alamo did have Superman stuff, but they don't even serve you anything in it. You buy that separately.
Have you seen the Police Squad popcorn bucket?
No.
Do you remember Police Squad at all? It's a beaver.
Oh, I did see it. Yeah. I like beavers, so I would get that.
Nice
but
beaver.
I don't want to see that movie.
Yep.
All right, we both of your things covered. I was going to mention Superman's how much it's billed, and Batman. But here's an interesting tidbit I just read. For the 4 stars of the '90s Roger Corman Fantastic Four have cameos in this upcoming movie.
That is awesome.
Is that funny? I just
for
read
him.
that in an article.
Good for them to put him in there. I have a couple of Kevin Feige random tidbits. I don't know. Did you guys have any others?
I just read that article.
Yeah, I did too.
Right, so
tidbit
just
away.
A couple of noteworthy things, and take them for what they're worth. He said Reed Richards will officially be the lead in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. He's going to be the lead Avenger.
He will be or won't be?
Will officially lead the Avengers, is what I read.
Did you read that, Todd?
That might have not come. Maybe that didn't come
I read
from the
Pedro
Kevin Feige
Pascal
article.
saying that he will not be.
Yes, I read that.
Well, I literally cut and paste, and it said Reed Richards will officially lead.
Who were you? Are you like reading that in comicbook.com?
I don't know where I saw that one.
Or
these next two are directly attributed to Kevin Feige saying them. Kevin Feige confirms the post-Endgame character Moon Knight and Eternals will return in the MCU and future projects. So they're saying Moon Knight's coming back in something.
I read the interview with him. He did not say that at all.
Yeah.
Well, here we go with the internet once again.
I know. I'm just saying. I did read that because it had Moon Knight in it, and he hedged on that, and he did. What did he do? Like basically, we'll have to see kind of thing, and that there's. But yeah.
Well, the headlines read that they will, and then last one.
I read the interview with him, and it's.
Okay, well, this just again goes to show how, the interview, the in-depth interview might say one thing, but the headlines end up saying something different. So here's the last one.
He also wants to make more shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He wants to make less shows, is what
I know,
this
but I'm
article
saying that was another takeaway, that he wants to make more shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Couldn't find that in actual verbiage anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think any of those things are true.
Well, here's the last one, so you can debunk this one if this isn't what the article said, but it says... Kevin Feige says, even before what happened with Jonathan Majors, we had started to realize that Kang wasn't Thanos. And he went on to say, yes, that is part of the plan. Characters we've introduced post-Endgame will pop up again in some of these upcoming movies and beyond. So.
Wait.
I don't think I would...
He did say they were moving away from Kang before Majors had that issue.
He did say that?
That's what but he never mentioned him by name.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. There's no way he mentioned him by name because that's just like that's right.
He said
that's right
we were
check
starting
material.
to move away from Kang because we realized he wasn't as big as
Yes,
Thanos.
okay, that I could.
Before he said the actor had any outside issues.
Okay,
yeah, I mean, what I saw was in quotes. It said Feige said. And then it says he literally mentioned Jonathan Majors by name. So either that quote
if he did that, he like I said, he deserves to write a big check. No.
I don't know,
but there's no way he's going to say who's the head of the Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was something he said. Was it him? There was a scrap.
I kind of feel like they're really putting it out there that you got to see Fantastic Four to understand things going forward, and I think that's a mistake.
In the article that I read, he said it's a standalone movie.
And that's how... And Dave, I said this for a long time, but that's how they should have been promoting this thing 6 months ago. If you've never seen a Marvel film, this is where
it probably is standalone in the fact that it takes place in another universe, but by the end of it, it has to somehow bridge to the next thing. Has to.
The Russo brothers supposedly directed the post-credit scene,
right?
And these are all quotes. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry. The Eternals was first. It says something about. Brave New World. He did say something about we were just experimenting. Oscar Isaac wanted to do something, we did it. The Marvels wanted to do this, we did it.
That's what I read.
Well, that also could be spin for things that didn't go as well as they wanted them to.
But there is something. There was a quote about.
Is Oscar Isaac a big enough star that if he says, I want to do a TV show, they just go, oh, we'll just do one then? I don't think so.
Well, after coming out of Star Wars, maybe. Anyway, I don't know. There's something that said something like that.
You see the trailer for that Frankenstein movie that he's in, the Guillermo del Toro? It looks weird.
Yeah, it definitely looks weird. I don't know. There's something about whatever. Okay, sorry to waste all this time there, but you know who's not convoluted, confused, and has no idea what's going on besides the three of us? Fanboy Collectibles. Hot Toys Darth Maul with a Sith speeder is out there. We talked about it in the pre-show. Strange New Worlds Chapel up for pre-order.
You can get a life-size Pokemon Pikachu from Sideshow, which there are people out there.
I don't know how big that
desperately
is.
look. He's like, probably about 12 inches tall, maybe 14. I don't know. He's got his ears.
Okay,
he was a mouse.
Hey, Barry, Pikachu not alive. How do they really? I mean, how accurate is the scale?
It could be any scale.
He's 18.5 inches tall from.
Apparently, that is established somewhere. It is cool.
Yeah,
so
it's cool. I mean, if you're a Pokemon guy, that's
there's
awesome.
Pops and Sideshow and Hot Toys and Kotobukiya and So Toys and
Exo 6
Ono Toys, I think. There's all kinds of stuff. Check those guys out. Fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, and tell them the regular Joe sent you. They'll probably be at New York Comic Con, which tickets are out there. So get your tickets. They'll be there.
I haven't been in years. I'm actually thinking about going on Friday this year, checking it out.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I went last year.
Not yet up for pre-order, but you'll soon be able to pre-order your Fantastic Four Hot Toys, and you can start your Pedro Pascal figure collection.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we talked about this off the air, but those figures look fantastic.
They
see
do.
what I did
Fantastic.
there? But they really do look good.
Yep.
Yeah, so check those guys out.
So, Dave, I saw pictures of we haven't had a chance to talk about this. I saw pictures of the life jacket from Titanic. That was amazing.
The Titanic. Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun.
What's going on in Dave's workshop now?
I just finished that. I actually just sent a bunch of stuff. I finished that life jacket. The interesting thing about that is I did not have the life jacket. She didn't want to mail it, which is fine because it was easy enough. She sent me great pictures, so I built it around it. And then this is the first time I saw the jacket in the display, but that was a fun display.
Okay. So the pictures that I've seen of it were after she got it back, and she took those pictures?
Yes, and she sent me pictures, and I had to ask. I always ask, can I post stuff? And everyone's been great about it.
Have you done that before with people with not having the stuff on hand?
I did the Superman thing. I didn't have it, but they gave me measurements. Yep. I prefer to have it. I did have something where someone didn't want to send it to me. I made it. I sent it to them. It didn't work. And then he's like, I'm going to send it to you. But the Mission Impossible knife, which I posted, display, he sent me the knife. No problem sending me the knife. So, hey, I'll give people references and stuff. I get it if you have some kind of,
The thing that I really like about
really, irreplaceable stuff. Even whether the value of these things varies, but they are one of a kind items.
Of course, and to how we are with our props.
Yeah,
we don't want to.
And the thing I really liked about the Titanic life jacket, and I've seen so many of the things you've done now, and you're very flexible with trying to find the right display for the right item, and I liked how it was like it matched the woodwork in the Titanic with the brass poles the life jacket hung on.
Yep.
It really looked period to the piece, which was great.
I know. I think what you're also saying is that would never be a Dave Pisani thing he made on his
himself.
Own. Yeah, right. I hate brass.
Yeah, but
I don't. But I made it for the right thing, and I did. I really looked at a lot of pictures of the stairway in the movie is oak, and the actual Titanic was made out of oak. There's a ton of oak, so I'm like, this needs to have oak, and I actually custom mixed the stain. I have this board downstairs that has like 10 different. It had to be the right color stain, so that was fun to do something that's sort of not necessarily my taste, but perfectly.
Well, and we know this because we've been friends with you for so long, but maybe some of the people listening don't maybe know yes, you're doing this now as a business, but you've been doing woodworking for as long as I've known you, and you're really good. You're a great woodworker. So
Thank you.
Most of what you do doesn't get to show that off, and that was actually kind of
it's
cool
fun to make the wood and
you know.
those stuff with wood. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
So how do people get a hold of you, Dave, when they want a custom display or plaque?
They can reach me. I'll give you my email address, which is fromdavesworkshop@gmail.com. You can check me out at my website, fromdavesworkshop.com. I'm going to give you another thing. And you can text me, 914-440-4176. So,
All right. So from Dave's Workshop for all of your prop display and plaque needs for all of your prop replicas and collectibles.
let's do a quick... We talked about the Heritage auction that Barry and I went to the preview. Let's go a quick... There's some interesting post-auction prices realized. So do you have any... I have an order, Barry. Do you?
I know mine are just in whatever order I wrote them in, so I can follow you. You can go in your order.
Well,
What is yours? By most expensive to least expensive, or how did you do it?
Yeah, that's how I did most expensive.
Well, Rosebud was by far and away the most expensive.
$14.7 million, including the buyer's premium, which is
a lot.
Is the price it deserves?
Yes,
based on other stuff.
Well, and we were speculating like it had to go for at least $10 million, and I know not everybody agreed with that, but I was not surprised at all that it went for over $10 million.
Yeah. Did you listen to the interview with Joe Dante?
I did, yes. I got it for
Joe
free.
Dante literally picked this thing out of the garbage at Paramount and got it for free.
They gave it to him for free, brought it home, hung it on his wall, and never thought twice about it. His house was broken into.
25 years later.
His house was broken into, and they stole the projector in that room, but they didn't steal Rosebud.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
Not a lot of people know what Rosebud is. Probably
I guess not.
Especially not your thief.
Not.
But anyway, he's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to something, whatever the juice is, plus their percentage. He made it was a good investment.
It was a good investment to just bring it home. And he said, by the way, that in a lot of his movies, he's put Rosebud in those movies in the backgrounds of scenes. So now I feel like I need to go watch all those movies and look for Rosebud now.
It's in a lot. It's in Explorers and stuff like that. So anyway, that was pretty impressive. Why don't we just go through the 5 things we saw?
Yeah,
you
that's
want to
fine.
do the next one?
Yeah, the poster artwork for the Apocalypse Now movie poster that we talked about, $687,500 with the buyer's premium.
That's a big number.
That's
That's
lot.
probably the most any original poster art has ever gone for.
Oh yeah. And look, I actually really like Apocalypse Now. I know not everybody does, and it's a cool poster. But it's not. I don't think of it as like the greatest movie poster of all time. But there are people that say it's the greatest movie poster of all time, and whatever. It certainly sold for a lot of money.
Yeah. The other thing we saw, the whip, Indiana Jones whip that was given to Prince Charles, $525,000. I think that's a record for whips.
I think it is a record.
It's probably a
whips
record
too.
for indie things. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and
I know what that hat went for.
The hat went for like $500,000. Yeah,
yeah.
And it's worth noting. I know it wasn't in the gallery that we saw, but Wyatt Earp's Tombstone revolver also went for $525,000,
which is a big number. And semi-friend of the show, Ryan Condal from the Stuff Dreams Are Made of owns that. And
yeah, that was his. He put that in that auction.
He put that in the auction to offset stuff he bought, and he bought some very expensive stuff. I think he's going to be incredibly.
I think he was. I can't wait to hear their show to hear how shocked he was. If he was shocked, I'm shocked that it went for that much. So
I think he's going to be shocked. That was quite the number.
That's a big.
I think he would have been happy with $200,000.
Yeah.
Genie bottle that we saw. Now this is a big $400,000 for the genie bottle.
That number shocked me.
A lot. I think those things have gone for way cheaper.
I don't think the signature hurt it. I'm just saying.
Well, it certainly didn't. Yeah, what the hell do I know from last week's show? But yeah, it certainly didn't hurt it. The next thing, I think the last thing that we saw was the Actor Studio sign which I have no frame of reference to determine if this is a lot of money or not. But it went for $65,000. I mean, that's a lot of money.
A lot for a piece of wood with some paint on it.
Yeah.
That was found in an antique store somewhere. Like it's not like I mean, it's crazy, but good for them. So did you have any other stuff that you sort of wrote down?
Yeah, I did. I have a couple things. Oh, interesting enough, Big Trouble in Little China art, I think Drew Struzan, $300,000. That's a lot. That's a culty movie.
Well, and the Excalibur artwork, which was amazing. The movie poster art for Excalibur went for $137,500.
That's cheap for that movie. That art is something else.
It's spectacular, that artwork. But still, $137,000 is still a lot of money for a painting. But what else? I have the Michael York Logan's Run costume that I don't remember if we talked about it on the air or off the air, but that went for $27,500.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for that.
Yeah, that's something I thought about bidding on.
Me too, when it was in the $3,000 range.
Yeah, exactly. But wow, that's a lot. Here's an interesting thing, and I was watching these live. So apparently John Wayne, every movie he used to have coffee mugs made with the movie logo or something, and I think they were inscribed to actors, and he'd give them to everyone on the movie. Some of them went for like $5,000. The last one of the auction went for $57,000. A freaking coffee mug.
What was there something special about that one, or
I think I remember the auctioneer saying, "This is the last one in the auction, and these do not come up a lot." And I guess that's just starting a little bidding war.
That's a coffee mug, all right.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So and again, I can't remember if we talked about it on the air or off the air, but there was a model X-wing that was not hand scratch built by ILM. It was an actual Star Wars model kit of an X-wing that they used a lot of those in Empire and Jedi. They bought the model kits, they painted them up at ILM and made them look great. It went for $375,000. It's a lot.
I don't know if that's high or low.
It feels high to me because it's great that it was painted by the artists at ILM, but it wasn't like bespoke built for the movie. I don't know.
Exactly. How many of those are there?
I can tell you I have seen quite a few.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, are there 50?
But out in the world,
are there 75?
Out in the world,
Is it like,
no, totally.
There's not a lot.
And it's just that does seem like a lot of money.
Well, and it's a bargain compared to the $3 million or $4 million that you'd pay for one of the Hero X-wings. But
that was no. Did you see that article on the guy who wrote about all the X-wings out in the world?
Yeah,
that's actually the guy. Remember, I texted you that guy's name.
Yes.
That guy wrote that.
Oh, okay.
He used to work for PropStar. I actually connected with him. He doesn't live far from me, so I'll talk to you about that off the air. But he claims that there's only like a handful out in the wild.
I believe that,
and he breaks them all down. The one that went for $3 million is a Hero. That's the only Hero one that's out in the world.
Yes, correct.
So that's why it went for so much. But anyway, so that's the Heritage Auction.
Yeah, one or two other quick ones I just wanted to rattle off. There was a miniature snowspeeder that the catalog said belonged to Carrie Fisher. That went for $81,000. That seemed like a lot for what it was.
People were debating whether it was a crew gift or was.
Yeah, I mean, I know there were crew gifts that looked just like that, mounted on a plaque, and EFX just made replicas of that. There was a master, what they called a buck for the Y-wing. That is, I guess, the thing that they used to cast all the Y-wings off of. But it wasn't a Y-wing. It was just like the thing they used to cast Y-wings off of. That went for $75,000.
There was a cheap piece of the X-wing, a pyro piece that went
just
for
a wing.
20-something.
$27,500 that wing went for. And there was a Death Star tower from Return of the Jedi that, to me, looked like it wasn't in great shape, went for $26,000. So, I mean, look, anything from the original Star Wars movies that's more substantial than just a little piece of something, it's going to go for money. But, I mean, and the Godfather
even the
2
little
clapperboard.
pieces of something, Barry, go for a lot of money. So
Yeah. The Godfather 2 clapperboard was the only other one I wrote down. It was $42,500 for the clapperboard.
That's a lot. Yeah, but that's not that's not easy to come by. That stuff.
But they couldn't even find pictures of that in use on the set. But I'm not saying that it wasn't real, but they just didn't have the behind the scenes photos that showed it.
Yeah.
Still $42,000. So if you want any of these items, please let us know. We'd love to talk to you about it.
Let us know. I got Tattinger's clappers in my closet right here that they're going up in value every single day.
I hate to say this, Dave. You literally should throw one of those things in an auction and see what it does.
An auction company has to take it.
There's an audience for all of this stuff.
I have an ashtray and a menu from the restaurant too. I don't even know if I have a Tattinger's one. I have another one. Anyway, that's not our problem. We'll figure that out. Let's talk some Star Trek. There'll be spoilers. Strange New Worlds. So season 3. When's the last season ended? Do we know? It was
quite a while
ago. It was over a year ago for sure.
It was well over.
I totally was
yeah
thankful for the
recap.
Previously, I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
I watched the previous episode first because I
would have done that had I known.
I remembered that it had to do with the Gorn, but I didn't.
I remember the end of it was bad.
I
did not remember who was captured and who wasn't, and I remember Pike sort of freezing, and that was it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't remember a single thing until like, the Gorn. I hate the new Gorn design.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I will just start this whole segment by saying, thank God, good Star Trek is back.
Yeah.
Because these two episodes
it's
were
like classic
really
Star
good.
Trek. With maybe the good thing is, at least this is just a broad statement. We got a pretty intense episode and then a little bit of a lighter episode, which was nice.
I like that too. Yeah.
I will say it was a great juxtaposition, and it was a great example of what Star Trek can be. That you can do that lighter episode, coming off that very, very intense episode. I would say if they stuck to the very, very intense stuff, it wouldn't really feel like Star Trek. So it was good having the yin and the yang.
I guess there were some lighter episodes.
Oh, there were several lighter episodes. And that's, like I said, what makes it Star Trek. I'll say one of my in the second episode, one of my favorite things was when they use the danger chord that they play when Chapel announces that the person she's brought on board is their date, and they play the music chord that they play to indicate peril.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, it was great because you see Spock's reaction, and they hit the music chord that they always do when there's like when there's a threat. It was great, and it was a neat little thing that they did. But
I know it's not exactly in line with the personality of Spock that we're used to, but I really do like this persona of Spock.
This younger Spock. I mean, he's got to mature, and he's going to become much more reserved.
He's a little lighter. Yeah,
he's definitely a little lighter and
more
he's also going to get
a spectrum of emotions.
He's getting scarred. He's going to get scarred by some of this stuff, and he's also, and never forget this. He is looking to number one as his model on what a first officer is. Okay? And he is going to be more like her when he becomes a first officer. He's going to be much more stoic, much more reserved. Okay? And that is a good part.
We didn't see a lot of her in either one.
No, but what I'm saying, see what I'm saying? Because
I'm just saying
that's her personality and fiercely loyal to her, or in his case, Captain. And I think that's how we get the Spock that we get.
But even if we'll get into it. We did watch a TOS episode, but Spock was not. You think of Spock. Sometimes your memory goes to the Spock from the motion picture, who was like no emotion, no anything. But this series, he always had this wry,
a little more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And even in the Yes. No, there's
And he would make fun of McCoy, and there was
anytime he
there's
made the
definitely-
smirk with the eyebrow that would go up. Like
yes,
you could tell.
which we
Yeah,
saw
for
once,
sure.
at least once in the TOS episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the Gorn Part 2 thing was perfectly fine. It gave some explanation for why, like 5 or 7 years later, the Gorn were fairly obscure because they went all back into hibernation and they had they had dealt with this one little outbreak thing. I did like that Lon is scarred by this, and she's this is probably not something that's going to go away for her easily. She's got PTSD from this, and it's perfectly understandable. So, but I also liked how in the moment she could get past that and do everything she needed to do. So
I like how they found
like
all
most
the
of
phasers basically in the poop chute of the Gorn ship. They're like, what about the things that can't digest? Where are those? That was actually a good way to get them weapons, I thought.
yes. Yep.
most of the aliens we've seen are pretty true to the original series, except for maybe obviously the Klingons. But I don't know why they changed the Gorn so much. That Gorn design, if that was like same exact design but like updated for with CGI and stuff, I thought would be really cool.
I wonder if it would
I
have been
thought
harder to pull off in CGI.
I think it would be really cool if they had slipped in one Gorn that looked, had him be like the King Gorn or the ancient, whatever. One guy that looked like the Gorn from, have it just be that's what a very mature Gorn looks like.
These guys look like the bad Godzilla from that 1990s.
They did have the Zilla.
No,
they had
it
a
does
Zilla
have
look
that
to
look.
them.
That little tiny head.
I was a little worried, I got to say, when Ortegas got stabbed, and because I saw
thought she
that
was
actress. Yeah, well, so I was going to say that I saw that actress at a convention last year when they were filming this season, and if she ended up dying in the first episode, based on everything I heard her say at the convention, I would have been like, "What the hell?" She was completely bluffing,
Yep.
but. I loved when she was flying the ship and she was basically bleeding out, and she's like, "I'm Ortegas. I'm the one that flies the ship." And then basically she goes out, and then they beam him out, like because that's
I
her
really
whole
thought she
identity.
wasn't
She's
gonna
like,
make
"No,
it,
I am
which-
going to fly the ship."
I could see that.
Yeah.
And she was, I mean, she bled out on that console. Like there was a lot of blood, but it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what the ending was about with her, with that looking in that.
I think she's messed up by this, and I think there's, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, there's
But
something.
that episode was good. I mean, it was a good way to. It reminded me a lot of what they did back in Next Generation with Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2, where they just ended it in the middle of a story, and then when they came back the next season, it was, here's the conclusion. And they even used those words, and now the conclusion. It was like, it felt very TOS. I'm sorry, Next Generation.
It did. It definitely did. I will say, you had to do the first episode because you had to wrap that up. But I tremendously enjoyed the second episode.
Yeah, it was
Me too.
fun. It was interesting. You really dug into some of the characters, which was nice.
Yep.
I love the Twilight Zone reference.
Oh, the Twilight Zone reference was brilliant. And the fact that, whenever like the other guy shows up and you really want to hate the other guy, but there was nothing really to hate about this guy. It was perfect. Although we know ultimately what that guy's fate is because we watched the original series. But it's, and I thought and again, so people have speculated since the appearance of Q that the entities that appeared in the Squire of Gothos at the end, the parent figures, were Q. Okay, were some form of the Q.
And technically, Trelane was a Q.
And that
Right,
Trelane was basically a young Q. And that is entirely possible. Okay. And it was a good theory, particularly when you take the judge thing with Trelane putting on the judge's robes, and then Q immediately going to the judge, putting the crew on trial. there's enough common threads there. It was definitely inspired by that, the impishness and stuff, and the capriciousness. This tied it together beautifully. At the end, when you heard John Delancey's voice basically calling him home, and it was just like, it's like, there's a bunch of these guys out there.
That was classic. That was a nice way to tie up.
I thought it was a great touch.
50 years.
And I like the fact that all the main characters who saw this guy saw him as a different person.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way around.
There's a good. It's a nice way of addressing the fact that he doesn't look exactly like Trelane.
Or anything that you expect. Yes,
him.
exactly. Yeah,
and that Spock and that Spock doesn't remember.
Or Uhura, or because he saw him as a Vulcan. Someone saw him.
The other saw him as an Andorian.
That was a bit of a gimmick to get away from them. But why doesn't anyone remember him?
It worked.
Yeah, it totally worked.
Yes. Yeah.
And personality-wise, he was very similar to Trelane's personality. That guy was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
for sure.
Oh, he did. I mean, he was doing a straight up impersonation, and he did a pretty good job. I love Spock punching the guy in his quarters.
Just the whole thing with Spock. At the first commercial break, Spock wakes up in bed next to him too, and it's like, Well, first he wakes up next to Christine Chapel, which you're like, what the hell's going on here? And then he wakes up next to. I mean, I thought it was a really good one of those, it is a light episode, but it also tied back to the original series. And these types of tiebacks
accomplished a lot.
Are perfect. I have no problem with these kind of, like, retconning these stories in.
Oh, no. This is, I loved when he tried to elicit extreme emotion from Sam Kirk.
Oh yeah, he just couldn't do it.
No one likes you. No one likes your mustache. You're much less intelligent than your brother.
He's like, punch me. He's like, I'm not going to punch you.
He's like, yeah, you're much less intelligent than your brother, and no one likes your mustache. Yeah,
I thought it was a really two really good episodes. One more action and one a little more lighthearted and a little more.
That was fun. It really felt like Star Trek. It totally felt like Star Trek, unlike so much other stuff that has
immediately made me want to watch The Squire of Gothos, which I then did, and
which I did. I did as well. Yep.
And I know, I know those Trek episodes inside out at a high level, but there's so many that I haven't really watched in years. So it's fun every now and then to just sit down and fully pay attention to one of those episodes.
The amazing thing to me rewatching that episode is that we had two characters in that episode who we have never seen before, two crew members who we have never seen before, who were integral to that story, who were in the story throughout, but did not die.
And never came back.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the helmsman and both the helmsman, and again, at the time the helmsman was a floating role, and that geologist.
LaSalle. We didn't see yeoman. LaSalle again?
I don't think so.
We never saw LaSalle again?
That's no, DeSoto. We saw. I don't think we saw LaSalle again. There's four characters. DeSoto we saw a bunch of times. There was five or six people, but anyways, like I said, but they gave these people these roles, and you're just like, oh god, these guys are red shirts wearing blue and yellow shirts, and yeah, it was before they had set that mold apparently. So, and it was interesting.
Not LaSalle,
right? Yes,
he had a red shirt on. Is he? Let's see.
DeSoto was the guy. DeSoto was the guy that appeared multiple times, the security guy.
And Leslie too.
Yes. No, but I'm saying there was a security guy named DeSalle who, like I said, had multiple appearances.
No, DeSalle was in other episodes.
He was.
Omnicron Chronicles, This Side of Paradise.
Oh, okay.
And he was in Cat's Paw.
Who was the yeoman? What was her name?
I don't know. We saw
put in the. Yeah. Okay. I just loved how she's walking around in the bridge serving coffee to everybody, and they're just putting coffee.
Oh my god, that's so insulting.
But it's also it's that is that part was probably written for Yeoman Rand. I mean, it's
Was she not around?
she was gone by that point. So
No, this was first episode.
First season.
First season, I'm sorry.
I know that. I'm
First
saying she
season.
was gone halfway through the first season.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Why is that?
They didn't want her to be a featured character.
She made a bigger impression than that. Honestly, it feels like she was around longer than that. But
It does, but her episodes were shot earlier. Her episode, it's not airing order. Her episodes were shot in the first half, or in the first half. She's not in the second half of the series, of the first season.
I didn't realize
That was in that book. So,
Oh, you mean the book that was 35 hours?
yes,
I'm sorry, I must have missed that.
60 hours.
Todd has
We
a
all-
really
we all-
good memory for that stuff. I don't remember.
I-
It was
I
50
do,
hours,
yeah,
and I don't
yeah,
remember most
yeah.
of it. But
Yeah, she's only in the Squire of Gothos. And of course, not only does she, as much as Star Trek wants to be, races are all get along and women are, everything's, she's serving coffee, and at the end, Kirk completely turns his chair around to check her out.
And, well, she's wearing that dress. The other thing is, we did see when did we ever see a male yeoman? Okay,
We did.
no, but I'm saying serving coffee.
I don't remember.
Okay, there were male yeomans. They did not serve coffee. So
I also thought it was interesting in the TOS episode. At one point, she hands Kirk a device that had like little cartridges that he put into it. He's sitting in the captain's chair, and
That's been around.
yeah,
it wasn't the regular
It's like
pad.
a-
it was in some other thing
No,
that
no.
had like
Yeah.
yellow and red. Like
It's got this red thing, and it's like a little viewer.
Yeah.
okay. So
I-
let me ask
I
you
need
this,
to see
since
that.
we're deep diving on this, the laser beacon.
Yeah, laser beacon was in there.
did we ever
But-
see that again?
But that was used as something else also.
I remember that in the making of Star Trek.
Right,
the laser
but they
beacon.
used that as something else. It had a different function in another episode, I think.
Oh, really? I thought it was. It could have been like a Scotty.
I liked how
tool.
they were
think
on
it-
the
like-
flattest possible ground, but he's like, I need to go someplace where I can get a better signal. I'm like, where are you going? There's no better
trees.
signal.
I gotta
There's
say,
trees buried.
just-
The lasers
I
won't go
love
through
the
trees.
fact that they build. Watching this, paying attention to an old episode, that they built all this stuff mainly inside. It was just the best.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, it's great. It's
so
absolutely
awesome.
it's absolutely great. And
But as much
So-
fun as the new Strange New Worlds episode was, the original series episode was fun too. It was a lot of fun to rewatch that episode today.
yeah, it was interesting though in that it really followed the original series formula where it's like, okay, we get all these crew people. Now all of you get out of the way so it can be about Kirk. It was like,
the laser beacon was used as a soldering device in the Doomsday Machine.
yes,
Okay.
yep. So
That's so funny.
Going back to the Strange New Worlds episode for a minute, Pike was in the green wraparound shirt, but it was the
Yeah.
brightest green I've ever seen.
Oh
It
my
looked
God,
so
yeah.
weird.
yep.
He's had that on before
He has.
when it was partially leather, which was weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah. That's is never a good look.
I did like how he was trying to decide which medals to wear on his uniform because Kirk had medals on that uniform.
On the dress
When he
uniform
wore it,
also, yes.
on the dress uniform.
Yep.
So it was. I mean, I watched all three of these episodes today, so it was great to just sort of binge on Star Trek today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. How many episodes are we getting this season? Do we know? I hope it's not like 6.
It's
think
10.
it's 10.
We're getting 10, 10, and 5. So there's only 23 more episodes to go.
but over the next 3 years.
Yes, exactly.
It'll probably.
And I'll tell you right now, I really think there's going to be 10 episodes in that third season, or in that fifth season. They're just not going to be Pike episodes. I do not think they're going to. I think they're going to come back with. There'll be a delay, but I think then we're going to come back with like Star Trek the early years or something. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah,
I want this he end up in the wheelchair. I guess he has to, does he?
I hope he just leaves, and because we don't need to see that. It's
Maybe we don't need to see it happen, but maybe they reference it, and maybe maybe we see him after the fact in it, just as a bridge to.
But he's already told number one, right? He's already told a couple people it's going to happen. So
yes, and he's told his girlfriend, Battelle.
Yep.
But wait a second. So, but he doesn't end up. When does he end up in the wheelchair?
After he leaves, he gets assigned to be in charge of Starfleet Academy or whatever. And there's an accident, and he goes in and he rescues the cadets, and he's permanently disabled.
Yeah. But where is that in the TOS timeline? Is it after TOS?
No, that is going to take place in the time between when he leaves the ship and when TOS starts, and TOS starts about 5 years after he leaves the ship. So we still have like 7 years before TOS starts. 6 or 7 years before TOS starts.
We do?
Yeah, I think so. So they said, I read a thing about the other day that said there are, from when Pike is supposed to leave to when from the dates of the series, there's like 4 years unaccounted for. So,
so who's in command of the Enterprise?
It's Kirk, but we don't see Kirk on day one.
Oh, that's true.
Okay,
that's
true. So we see Kirk at the point that he brings his friend in and gives him a job that he's not qualified for, and things go bad from there. So,
but in TOS, I'm sure this is, if you're a Star Wars fan, go get a snack.
Yeah.
In TOS, in Menagerie,
yep.
not the cage. In Menagerie, how recent is Pike in the wheelchair?
It's got. I mean, they didn't say that, but it's got to be within a couple of years. It's got to have happened in that 4.
Well, so my point is, if we do get Kirk day one getting an Enterprise, which would be cool, which we've never seen before.
Right.
At that point, let's say 5 episodes, then we go right to Kirk and Spock the early years. Pike's not in the wheelchair yet.
No, he's not. In fact, they'll hear about it happening or whatever.
If that series exists.
Is number one has to leave. Spock's got to get promoted. There's a whole bunch of things that have to happen. McCoy wasn't on the ship in the first episode, so presumably the first 4 years there's going to be Dr. Piper is going to be there.
And number one, all we know is number one is in the cage. We never see her again.
We've never seen her again. So
they don't reference her again, I don't think.
Right. So we could, but
there's a lot of leeway with this.
Yeah, it sounds like from. God, I'm trying to. Do I want to reference Lower Decks here? Okay. No. They know about number one. They know about Ortega's. They know. So I think they've all got other things that they're going to go on to do. So. Yep.
Interesting. Well, I hope they do something like that. That if they fill in the gap of Kirk getting the Enterprise, that would be pretty cool.
I think so too. And
as much as it's a vampire, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I also I think he's going to grow a little more into being Kirk, and I think early Kirk is not a bad thing. And I think, for all we know, Spock might not even be his first officer. So, there's a lot there we don't know about. So, though I think that would be a mistake.
No. Wasn't Spock Pike's first officer at some point?
No. In fact, he said he served with Captain Pike because they were referencing the cage. In the cage, he was a science officer, just like he is in this. So he talked about serving with Captain Pike.
True.
Okay. And that's one of the things they got right. And I'll say, one of the things I really like about Strange New Worlds is our one view of Pike, of the Spock and Pike relationship. The two views we have are in the cage, and they're kind of distant. They don't seem all that bonded there. And yet, Spock will sacrifice his career and his liberty to do what he does for Pike. And you didn't see that in the cage Spock, but you're seeing that. You see what I'm saying?
No.
Now we're seeing Spock, in the years since that, you're seeing Spock become the person and develop that loyalty to Pike. So
I wonder if they'll remake the cage.
I don't know if they would remake it, but maybe they would find a way to deeply reference it so that they don't have to do the whole thing note for note. But maybe it'd
be interesting to see it.
Well, that's already happened in the past, right? The cage takes place before Strange New Worlds.
Does it?
Yeah, we've already seen him.
The menagerie
we've already
is the one that
seen
takes place
Vina.
later.
We've already seen
You're
Vina
right.
communicate with him.
Yeah.
Back in Discovery.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this conversation as much as we are.
Sorry, people. We just really.
But this is the show.
There is also
talking
proof
about Star
that
Trek.
you can like both Star Trek and Star Wars equally. So
you can. You absolutely can.
Okay. So one interesting thing with I meant to mention this before. Did you hear about the Wesley Crusher figure? The problem with the Wesley Crusher X06 figure?
yes, I did.
It had a horrible head sculpt, but no.
Okay. So it has the wrong badge. So they're
Com badge is
sending
the wrong badge.
They're sending follow-up badges.
It's gold instead of silver.
And so they're sending badges out to the people, and some of them came with a badge so you could change it. The badge is glued on. So they've got a video that basically shows you taking tweezers and tearing it off the uniform using super glue to put the new one to glue the new one onto the uniform. And I'm like, so not only did they screw up this figure, and they're making you repair it yourself, okay, instead of sending you another tunic or whatever like this, okay. In the how-to video that they released, they're very careful not to show the face. The head sculpt is so everybody universally agrees that the head sculpt is that bad, and
It's kind of ironic that they actually made a Wesley figure, considering that a lot of people don't love that character, and then they go on to screw it up pretty badly.
They screwed it up.
They've done great work. This
ways.
company.
But like I said, if you get a chance, watch that video. Because, like I said, it really looks like they're doing everything they can not to show you the character's face.
They don't want to draw any more attention to the fact that they botched the
while they're ripping the badge off the chest
Right.
and gluing another one on and probably gluing the shirt to the body underneath.
Yeah, that's
100% they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
not that's.
But let's face it, you're not stripping that figure down to redress him in another uniform.
Not.
So
No, you're not. You're not going to. So, yep.
crazy.
All right, let's do a quick what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Todd, what's in the box?
Which brings me to a superb figure from X06. And this is Captain Pike from Strange New Worlds, which has the correct badge, has probably one of the best sculpts that they've done, including incredibly detailed hair. I'm telling you, every line in his face, this is just a really superb figure.
Well, he's got the Vanilla Ice hair sculpt, head of hair.
He does. I loved it. I got to say, I loved his girlfriend making a comment about like having to make room
hair
for
care products.
his hair products. Yeah, because there's a lot of work going into that. That's sculpture right there, people. But they capture it really well, and like I said, just the detail in the face. And
I like how he's got
not
just
a young man.
little smirk going to. I mean, it's well
but
done.
he's not a young
Well
man,
done.
and you see the lines in his face. You see the little, the eyes are incredibly well done with a little red around the edges. This is this is the anti-Wesley Crusher. This really is, like I said, probably one of the best ones that they've done.
Which just adds to the. I mean, look, I was never going to buy a Wesley Crusher figure personally, but it just adds to the disappointment when you know the quality that they're able to achieve.
How do you make something like this back to back?
Yeah.
This preceded that figure, and yeah.
Oh, look, they've had a great track record, so they were eventually miss on something, but I guess if they had to miss on anything, miss on a figure that none of us personally really wanted, but
yeah. So
True.
Yep. Barry, what do you got?
All right, I'm texting you guys a picture. I have a lot of Star Wars posters, original movie posters. I realized in going through and cataloging them that I did not have any original Empire Strikes Back posters. So I actually was able to get a really good deal on the one I just texted you. It is actually not the original release. It's the 1982 re-release when they reissued it back into the movie theaters. But I love this poster. It's a great Empire Strikes Back poster. So the one they call the Gone with the Wind poster is my favorite of all of them, but I don't know that I'm going to buy one of those because they've gotten very expensive. This I got a pretty good deal on. So,
do you know who the artist is?
Not off the top of my head, but I can look that up. It's a great poster, though. I really do like it.
It really is.
So that came recently in a tube, and then I'm doing a twofer because I just got this. This came out in 1977. This is a button that was released right after the movie because so many people thought Darth Vader died that they did a campaign to say Darth Vader lives because, you know, they see his ship get hit. Some people didn't realize it spins off and that he levels out and flies away. So this was one of the very first Star Wars merchandise items you could buy. But look how they spelled Vader.
Oh, that's cool.
They've misspelled Vader.
Oh, that's great.
And there's a million of these buttons out there that all have this misprint on them. It's VADAR, which I just thought was great. And, you know, I paid $10 for this. But I recently heard somebody talking about it. I'm like, I have to get one of those. And thank you, eBay. $10 later, it's at my house. So those are my two. Dave, what's in the box?
Todd has to say something.
I was just going to
Go
say,
ahead, Todd.
just think how that universe would have changed if they'd blown him up. If they'd had him just crash, you know, be caught in a Death Star explosion or something like that. And
Well,
we know there was not a master
George
plan.
knew what they were doing.
We know there was not a master plan. And that was pretty fortuitous.
Yeah, well, I mean, they
knew who he was.
killed Obi-Wan Kenobi, but then, you know, brought it back as a disembodied voice. But, you know, you couldn't kill Darth Vader. He knew he wanted to make sequels. He just didn't know what they were going to be. Exactly. Don't believe for a second that
Didn't you think he knew?
I do not believe that. I really do not believe that. I think he wanted to
Vader was
knowing what I know of who that guy was at the time, that guy being George Lucas. I think he thought he was going to move on. He wanted to do this project. He wanted to check this off the list, and he wanted to move on to bigger and better things. I don't think he expected this was going to be the whole rest of his life, and I don't expect that he thought it was going to be his next couple of films. This is nothing like what he'd done before. I think he had the idea of making.
While this movie was being made, he commissioned 2 novels be written as potential scripts for follow-up movies if he had to make them for TV. That's what Splinter of the Mind's Eye and what was the other one?
Again,
and Solo at Star's
that's
End.
also like, yeah, but it's merchandising. It's a whole lot of other things.
Gigantic.
But
I think he knew
he had sequel rights though in the contract too, so it wasn't like he never thought of it.
Yeah.
And there weren't a lot of sequels back then, so to get
no,
to
there
ask
weren't,
for
and that's
sequel
what I'm
rights-
saying. But I think everybody after Godfather Part 2 put sequel rights in there. Everybody was
Maybe.
smart, and we know there was an association there. So
I think he had a basic idea that he wanted to go on and tell more stories. I don't think he had it mapped out the way after the
Some
fact.
people
He said,
claim,
I've
yeah.
got 12 movies mapped out. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, sorry for that tangent. Anyways.
Dave, what do you got?
Speaking of Star Wars, this is a... You can't see it. This is why we need a different format. So there's a group that Barry and I are members of that get behind-the-scenes people autographs, and this is titled the TIE Fighter Model Makers, even though these people who signed it aren't actually all model maker. So it's a picture of a TIE fighter, but it is signed amongst other people by Joe Johnson, John Dykstra, Dennis Murin, and a few other lesser known names to everyone. I knew I wanted a Joe Johnson and a Dennis Murin autograph on something, so
That's awesome.
there it is. It's big. It's 16 by 20.
That is really big.
Yeah. This group sells
Yeah, it's Imperial Walker Inc., I think, is the Facebook group.
I didn't know if you wanted to mention
there's
that,
a
but
public
that's fine.
group. I mean, well, it's a private group.
They're
but
public.
You
I
can,
think you
can
just have
join
to
it.
sort
You
of
just have
be
to go
accepted.
through the process, and you can join it. And
Yeah.
it's they offer legitimate, real autographs from behind the scenes.
A ton of signings.
Yeah.
Ton of signings. And the guy who runs it, the amount of work he does for...
And he gets big names like Joe Johnson and Dennis Murin, and all the way down to like the person who like rode the horse that was the elephant that was the bantha, like crazy, really obscure, like people that worked in the office, all the way up to John Dykstra, and Dennis Murin, and so.
Yeah, they're doing a Dennis Murin signing in August.
I think in August, yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. I always wanted some of those guys, and I got some others who are real key guys, but not the names everybody knows. So that's what's in the box. Okay, where are we now? So I think we'll probably do Fantastic Four next week.
I think that'll be our next show.
I suspect so.
Yeah. Interesting.
Plus, we're going to see each other soon, coming up soon. So
we're going to see each other this Saturday, the annual summer barbecue.
It's not quite the Christmas
public.
gift exchange, although we all have stuff for each other. So
That's right.
We have recorded at this. Now we've recorded with our wives at these things. Todd hates that.
Yes, I do.
But we should come up with something. The wives should come up with something to record. But we'll figure that out. We'll see. The last couple of these times were spur of the moment.
Well, we'll see how many cocktails people have and how inspired we feel.
The Tom Cruise movie, was that last year or was that a couple years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll figure something out. We will figure... If it rains, we'll definitely record because we won't be able to be outside.
Yeah, we won't. It's supposed to be hot, so we may be swimming.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
everyone's welcome to swim. No one ever does. But anyway. So, yeah, go see Fantastic Four. We're going to be talking about it with
spoilers.
With spoilers, but I'm saying we're going to go see it with anticipation. I don't know. I really
Cautious
don't know.
Optimism.
Todd's going to see it first.
This is going to be rough.
Well, and Todd's not going to be able to talk about it when we get together because we won't have seen it yet.
No.
Yeah, I know. I just want to say this one thing he's going to say. Please don't say it.
Ben kills the president
back in
in the first 20 minutes.
Well, that's why I texted you guys, because I could potentially see it before we get together. It would be more difficult, but I would have tried. But since Dave's not seeing it until Sunday.
Yeah, my theater, I wanted to go see it Friday night. And it's sold out. And then I'm like,
you're both
maybe
retired.
Thursday.
You can see movies during the day when no one else goes.
Pam wants to see it too, so I'm not...
See, I'm luckier.
Okay.
Maria doesn't really want to see it, so I'm just going with one of my sons. But since Todd mentioned it, I will, yes. So my final thought for the show is as of this week, I am officially retired. So I have more time now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have more time to go see movies during the week now and during the day even. So I could have seen it before we get together. I want to see Superman
again. I don't have the time to do it though.
I think I'm going to see Jurassic World at some point, and I'll just go during the day, and it'll be great.
I think we're going to see it tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I want to go see Superman in IMAX. I got to figure out. I guess I could. Maybe Thursday. Anyway, I got work to do.
Okay,
I got
last
to make.
thoughts. Rest in peace, Tom Troop. You'll always be a star to us. Okay.
Yes.
And I guess Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Malcolm Jamal Warner just died.
Today.
Drowned.
Wow.
That's horrible.
And look, you both know I had a close friend whose husband went in a very similar way, and it's awful. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
He was on vacation with his
Rest
family.
in peace, you guys.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.